Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I had a comment asking about to show other things that I do with the border pages, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and we can do a page together and kind of give a couple more ideas. They don't only have to be borders. So I figured for this page I wanted to have a window like to see through to the other page, so I just took my pencil, drew it out, freehand it, and I'm going to cut it out. Take my little mat. This is the Dylusions one. She released this, I believe it was sometime this year. However, you could get a small little cutter mat. I believe the Dollar Tree even has like a 5x7 one for $1.25 or some. I don't even know. But the key with cutting is to always cut towards you. And with this, I just move my book around. It doesn't have to go directly on the line. It's not going to matter one way or the other, as long as I get the basic shape of it. Okay. All right. I'll stick this in my stash and use it for another day. Put my knife away. And my mat. So now that we have the window, and here's where I wrote down all the colors, because I make my books ahead of time, and sometimes I forget what color it is. Like the Blue Lagoon and the Calypso Teal are pretty similar in color. So I write it on a little sticky note and put it in the very back of my book, because tomorrow is the last day of the month. Now I'll take my pen, because I want to be able to outline that and make it stand out some, and I'll go as close to the edge as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, again, just to make it stand out a little bit. Okay, we'll fill that in later. Now what my plan was for this page is I had taken one of my horizontal border sheets and I had cut it down, and there was this little strip that I didn't use, so I thought I'd put it here and make this really cute little ledge, like so. And then I want to use off of my, I get so confused, portrait, I guess, is what you would call it when it comes to papers, but it's, you know, the vertical way. Off of this one, I want to use these two little strips here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. Are you guys having a great day, hopefully? It seems like this year is already flying by. I mean, it's pretty much the last day of the month already. Alright, so we got those. And what I want to do, they are completely different, however they will border the page and ground them just fine. Put them just like so. And then I have, this is from the Dylusions, I believe in Unicorn set, that I want to use. And then this hat is from her Drink Me set. She just released these. And I want to put that like so. Now, I mean, it's cutesy, but I wanted it to represent like a girl, so I went and I looked and found in her Walk in the Park Duo, which she released these, oh my goodness. It was last year, but it was towards the end of the year. And I'm glad that she did, because she had the larger ones, and these are from the smaller ones. The smaller set. And I figured just putting that there will make it look more girly. And this little floral whatnot, I'm not even sure what it's supposed to be, but I'm going to use it as like a little wing. It was in my stash, so I figured I'd use it there. Now the only thing missing is obviously a body. And because my background is mostly cool colors, I want the body to pop. Yes, I could just use this piece here and it would pop. However, it looks too similar to that for my likings. So that's where the border pages come in again. And I am going to take just this section here. I'm going to cut this line and this line really quick. I'm just putting them over here on my little cutting board here, making it much easier. I could do it with scissors, but this is actually quite faster. All right, so we have that. And then I'll put the rest away for the moment. Now, I decide which way I want it to go. I think like so. So I need to, I'll have to cut it probably about here. Kind of bend it up a bit. And I can actually just fold it over on itself and make sure the edges line up. And that'll give me a straight cut. And I'll just do this with my scissors. I'm sorry guys, there's some weird lighting, shadows. It's just odd today. Okay, so now we have this. We'll set the other piece into the scrap pile. And I could keep it square, but I'm just going to round it off at the top to kind of mimic that, but you know, a little bit rounder, and just create a little body out of it. So take your scissors and start wherever you want and just kind of go up. Let me set that to the side and do the same thing over here. Try to roughly get the same angle. If not, it doesn't matter. There we go. And voila. We have a little cutesy body that matches the hat. And then we'll put the wings back here. Alright, so I believe I like that layout. The next step is to just get my double-sided tape and start gluing it down. And then we'll outline it. And that's that. I'm not going to write about it today, or right now at least, because it's actually pretty late in the day. But I do have at least a page that I can go in tomorrow and write in whatever I feel like. But these border pages, I mean, you could turn them into anything. Like I said, cut sections out, create little bodies, or create little ledges if you do window cutouts, or you could even take, for instance, just this little section here and turn it into like a flower stem, or as silly as it would be, but it would still be kind of cute. Take it and turn it into a neck. Not with the body that's that color by no means, but There's all different things you can do with them, and the benefit to it is you making them yourself, you can make as many as you need to, and it only costs you whatever your supplies end up costing. For instance, the papers, I get them on Amazon. I think I get like 25 of them for $9 or something like that for the paper that I use. Or you could buy one of her journals and use those papers, Dylusions journals, and use those papers. It would work just the same. I don't know how many sheets are in each one though, but it would work just the same. And then you have the exact same type of paper as is in here, because she uses them throughout all of her journals. Alright. This is just a really quick and easy way to get a page made, and I actually do this every day. I just haven't recorded the videos on it. And you know, I hear some people say, oh, I don't have time, I don't have time. Well, I kind of rummaged through what I had, and as far as like the head and the hat and even the little wings there, that took me, I don't know, maybe 15, probably not even 15 minutes to do. You don't really want to think about it, because if you think about it, again, it'll take you forever and you may never make a decision. And if you do, by that time you'll just be tired of it and not want to do it. So pick something, go with your first choice, that's usually always best, and make you a little page. Do something every day that's creative, no matter what it be. Alright, so for these I'm just going to fold them in half again, like I showed you in the actual border page video, and snip them right down the middle, and just remember which way they go, like that. And then same thing with this one. Okay, just like that. And we will put down the things that go down first. So let's go ahead and do the borders. I'll get my glue stick. Again, I use the Dylusions Diary glue stick, as well as the double-sided tape, because I'm sure the glue stick will hold up just fine. Excuse me, sorry. I just want to make sure that it holds up really well for years to come. I'm making these journals for my kids to look at later in life and to know just what was going on, and even if it's a little snippet, because that's usually what I put down, is like a little snippet of that day, they'll know roughly what I was doing that day or what special thing they did that I put down in the book for that day. Alright, so I cut it in half because otherwise if you just run it straight across and you try to close your book, it's just going to keep pushing up and it'll eventually tear this off. By cutting it in half, you make it a bit more stable where it doesn't want to do that. You don't have to worry on it so much. Alright. And then this one goes this way. And I just put them as close to the middle as I can without them going down into the middle completely. Alright. Give them a good press. Take my paper towel and wipe up the excess glue so that way we can do more gluing. You always, if you're using a craft mat or whatever you're using, if you're going to use the glue stick, you always want to wipe off the excess glue, because otherwise you'll just transfer it to one of your other pieces on the top and it'll be a mucky mess. Sorry guys, I'm just taking my craft pick and peeling the backs of these off. Try and do it as quickly as possible so I can show you as much as I can. Sorry. Same thing, as close to the edge as possible without going down into the edge. And then just give it a press. It does not have to be perfect, but... And I do understand that, you know, some people might want exact same borders. If that's the case, then, you know, make sure you have 2 sheets that are identical and just cut the 2 identical borders out. For me, it doesn't bother me. I actually enjoy the different looks to them sometimes. It adds more interest to the page, in my opinion, as opposed to it just being one solid matchy thing. I'll show you what you can do to, because like when it's open you can see the difference. I'll show you what you can do to cover that in so you don't have to worry about it. Well, it won't be as noticeable, let's put it that way. But since we just put it down and there's glue on, we're going to give it a few minutes to dry. So we'll move on to the next. You just keep gluing down your items that you want. Oh, there's a weird shadow today. I like to put a good amount of glue on, again, because I want to make sure that they're going to last for a decent amount of time. They may not last forever, but who knows. If nothing else, I hope that I can teach my littles to, if they do get broke or whatnot, to go in and fix them. Okay, so for this, you want to put down what goes down first. And that would be, or what's in the back pretty much. So that would be the wings. So I'm going to lay it out really fast and make sure that's where I want everything to be. Maybe I need to scoot over a bit because I don't want the hat hanging off the page by any means. Okay, so these wings would actually go probably a bit further down, like that. Yeah, so let's grab that. I tell you what, this Tim Holtz craft pick has been a absolute blessing for me when it comes to these little backings, because sometimes they're just a major pain to get off, especially when you don't have nails. Alright, give it a really quick glue. Make sure that's where it needs to be. And put it on. Right there, looks good. Okay, so the next one that's on the bottom, underneath, is the body. Grab it up. You can cut the bodies into whatever shape you want them to be in. If you want to actually make them into like a full t-shirt and a pair of pants or anything like that, you could. That's just a lot of work and this is much simpler. It's gonna mean the exact same thing, you know, because you look at it, you're gonna be like, oh, that's a elephant person, which, you know, that may not be a real life thing, but that's the best part about art, is it's interpretive. It does not have to be realistic to get the point across, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others. Alright, next would be the head. So let's pop it on really fast. This page is going rather quickly, and that's quite nice for me. Again, just sit down and use your, what I call the border pages. Just use them as, you know, a sheet to turn into whatever you like. They don't have to necessarily just be on the edges or borders or whatnot. I call them border pages because I tend to use them the most for borders, but you can also use them just to cut out odd shapes and, you know, whatever you really like, actually. Alright, I'm gonna pop that down. I can tell that I didn't get no glue over here. Just one second. Let me put some over here, because you really want to get the edges really well. Alright, you go there. If for some reason you are just using, you know, double-sided tape, make sure you get it exactly where you want it the first time. The best part about the double-sided tape and the glue stick is the glue stick allows you to have some time to move it around. So if you don't get it in the exact position that you want it, you'll have some time to get it moved into the position that you want. Without the glue stick on there, it pretty much just sticks, and if you try to pull it off, you may rip your page underneath. I'm sorry if you guys can't actually see what I'm doing. I gotta have it closer to me. Alright, the hat. I go through about 3 of these glue sticks a month with these books. Alright, and we will pop that down like so. Give it a good press. Did I get any glue over there? And if there's anywhere that you notice that it's not wanting to really lay down, like right here, nope, I didn't get no glue, that's why. Just pull it up and stick it down. Okay, one more piece to glue, and then we'll give it just a second to dry any little dregs of glue that may still be there. And then we'll outline it. And I just want to stick that right there, like so. Okay. Close my glue stick up. Wipe up my mess while that's kind of drying a bit, just to make sure there's no extra glue sticking out. Because if you try to outline it with glue stick or anything on, it will ruin your pen. No matter what pen you're using, it will ruin it. Okay. Clean up my mess a little bit, and then we'll outline it, and I'll show you how to fix those center pieces in case it bothers you to see where they're separated at. Alright, so all you do for that is, like this here, you can't even tell because it's the creamy color. But up here, you can see it obviously. You just grab the color ink that you used, go in between right there. It's not going to stand out as much now. And then all I do after that is, this is not wanting to stick. Take my paint pen and outline everything. I don't do it perfectly. I don't tend to do anything perfectly, actually, just because I stand by perfection is a hindrance. And see, by outlining it, it just kind of grounds it to the page. It makes it look like it belongs there, as to where over here where it's not outlined. I mean, it's there, but it doesn't really look like it belongs at the moment. So we will just finish that up. Oops, I went over a bit. That's all right. And even where it overlaps, so here I'm going all the way over his trunk. Even though it goes over the body, I still want that to stand out. Okay, you're almost done. Oh, we didn't go down this side at all. Even the little bow is going to get outlined, because when you have layers on layers, they'll just stand out that much more and be more noticed when you outline them. Okay, right here. And right here. And here. All right. I believe that's everything. Yep. All right. If it bothers you that your bottom and your top are not the same, I'll show you how to marry them together, make it a bit more cohesive. I did go around and put just little bumps here to make that stand out a little bit more. But what we're going to do, you can do it in multiple ways. You can take your journal block and you can draw a straight line there and a straight line down here, just about 1/4 inch off the border. Or you can make it wavy. What I'm going to do is, first and foremost, I thought about just drawing my lines down here. I'm going to do one over here and one on this side. Actually, no. I'm not going to do the lines. Let's just do the big bump, little bump. I think that'll work just fine. All right, and how you do that is you start off by making a small bump and then a larger bump. And you go small, large, all the way up. Small, large. And you'll end up with that. Come over to this side and do the same thing. I turn my book quite often, and it's a lot easier for me to draw them this way. Alright, now they don't look like much now, but, and then through here I am going to take my journal block and I'm just going to draw a really fine line from the bump there over. It's about 1/4 of an inch off of the bottom, or sorry, the top of the border, I should say, and then just go over to that bump, like so. And do the same thing at the top here. I'm not going over where I drew my bumps because those are their own border. There we go. Now, where I drew the lines at, I'm just going to take and you could put any kind of thing you want in there for this, but maybe we'll just do the black and white, or black checkered. You don't have to be perfect. Do that all the way down, just on the bottom here. Right, just like so. And we're going to do it across the top as well, just where we drew that line, but not going over our floral bump, or our edges here. Oops, sorry. Sorry, it's probably hard to see. All I'm doing is drawing 2 lines and then coloring in between them, or filling in between them with the paint pen here. It's the fastest way to make this kind of doodling. Remember, with these pens, just let the nibs touch the paper and the paint will transfer. If you try to like apply pressure, you'll end up messing up the nib, and you could flood out the pen where you get a big blob that comes down, and it's not always a pleasant oopsie on your pages. Alright, almost done with this. Okay, and now I can either go in with one of my ink Tim Holtz pens and fill this whole thing in, or what I'm going to do is where I have the small bumps, I'm just going to fill them in with the black. Really quick and makes it look like it belongs, and makes the different borders not stand out as much as being so different, because by doing this and making these similar, you're marrying those to it, so they're like a border of a border. And I mean, you don't even have to use the border pieces. You could just go in and doodle these on the edges if you want to, or a lot of times when I make my books, I'll just use the Diane's Dylusions borders with paint. But I found in doing that, I never know what I want on each page for each day, and sometimes the borders were kind of in the way that way. All right. Now we'll take our, I think we'll take the, do I want the blue? Yeah, the blue ink, and we're just going to fill in these anywhere that the black is not. Same thing over here. With this, what I do with one side, I'll match to the other. Okay, and we're going to do the top and the bottom where the black is not as well. Now where there's already paint on, it's not going to stand out as much. This is one reason why I like the border pages, or, you know, to use a different border, even if it's the Dylusions ones, is because, as you can see, it stands out, but it doesn't stand out as much because there's paint underneath. This stands out. Okay, flip it around this way and do this side. And now, just for a pop of versatility and the fact that I've got the purple down here, I'm going to take my purple and go into these little areas, or this little tiny bumps that I just created around the window here, and it'll help it stand out even more. And there's one more step that I'm going to do to this one, I believe. I'm going to pull out my paint pen again, and I am going to just go through and make little dashes all the way around what I just drew in. A little stitching border per se, so it's like this, but same thing all the way around. Yes, it's extra work, but I think it makes the page look so much nicer. And I like busier pages for the most part. The ones that aren't as busy just kind of look plain to me. And I always find myself going in and trying to add more to it, which is totally okay, you know. In my, not my day-by-day journals, but in my others, I will go in and I'll create a background, or multiple backgrounds, and then I'll go in and I'll start putting down images on different days, and then I'll do borders. I mean, it's just, when it comes to my other journals, art journals, I don't do them all, I don't do one page all at once. I'll do them over a multitude of days. And they end up being better to me, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so now that I've done that, I am going to take my purple and I am going to outline all of it, where I just put that black ink down just on the inside of it. Sorry, the black paint, not ink. Goodness me. Here we go again, where I can't say paint like I should. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And see how my background is more so the warm, or the cool colors. That's why I wanted the main thing to be in warm colors, because it'll stand out more, and that's more of the focal point. Like when you open this page up, the first thing that you notice is this, because it's different than everything else. Alright. Alright. And if you wanted to, you could go around this with your ink just to outline it. I'm not going to, because it's already so much going on. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like. Leave me a comment if there's anything else that you guys want to see or want to know. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you're staying safe, staying warm. It's still winter time, so it's not so nice outside right now. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.